Well, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember it, so you don't have to. Why do I keep falling for Nicolas Cage movies? There used to be a time where when he was good, he was amazing. And when he was bad, he was still amazing. He was one of the most entertaining people to watch. But then he got into making so many of them that the Cage magic was spread too thin.
Like butter scraped over too much bread.
It wasn't as much fun anymore. Nevertheless, I still looked forward to them. Why? Because I'm a friggin' dumbass. Thus, in 2010, Nicolas Cage gave us another dull-zaster with the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Alright, get over here.
Whee! Sorcerer's Apprentice! In 1940, Walt Disney released perhaps his most audacious experiment in a career of audacious experiments. Fantasia, heralded by some as Walt's masterpiece, combined classical music with classic Disney animation in ways no one had seen before, and its most famous sequence is The Sorcerer's Apprentice, starring Mickey Mouse.
A simple story about a janitor who almost destroys the world, it featured the mouse who started it all in his red robe and blue hat magically controlling the cosmos, becoming one of the most iconic images in Disney's illustrious history.
Then, 7 decades later, this presumably happened. Directed by John Turteltaub.
You mean the same guy who directed?
Oh yes, Three Ninjas!
Score!
The film was trying to cash in on hugely successful cinematic updates of Disney properties at the time, like Pirates of the Caribbean and Pirates of the Caribbean. But where that movie at least had some connection to the original source material, this...
It had a dancing broom for a minute.
Authentic!
Let's take a look at why the magic is gone with Sorcerer's Apprentice.
It opens with a prologue so complicated you'd swear they were trying to squeeze in 5 other movies into this movie.
The fate of mankind rested with the just and powerful Merlin. He taught his secrets to 3 trusted apprentices, Balthazar, Veronica, and Horvath.
This is Ian McShane, by the way. I figured I'd introduce myself because I have no idea what character I'm supposed to be in this. Nevertheless, I'll still leave a bigger impact than Pirates 4.
Morgana Le Fay, Merlin's most deadly enemy.
Well, that and Transformers 5.
We are but servants.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's a different spelling. But the way this movie goes, it wouldn't surprise me.
Merlin, Horvath, you betray me?
Yeah. Nice read there, Spirit Halloween Store Beard. This is why the Borg Queen is assimilating you.
This movie's in such a hurry they dissolve from one shot to the exact same shot. Man, I hate it when movies do this. This was clearly a full scene at one point, but it didn't work, so they cut it down in editing and tried to make it faster, and that's why we should all go to Mitt Romney's house dressed as hamsters and convince him he's a hamster too when his entire human life has been a dream.
Wow, you really went off on a tangent there.
I'll fix it in post.
Veronica sacrificed herself for Balthazar by drawing Morgana's soul into her own body. Balthazar trapped them both in the Grimhold, an inescapable prison
that you can buy at your grandma's antique store. So Balthazar, played by Cage, searches the world for Merlin's successor, the Prime Merlinian that will one day defeat the trapped Morgana.
But he'll in no way use his powers to stop the atrocities of history.
For mankind will never be safe until Morgana is destroyed.
Maybe he can use those powers to stop 2 world wars if you have the time!
Slavery, genocide, those'll sort themselves out. He's gotta keep the world safe. Flash forward to our young protagonist being awoken by his corporate masters, heading to school in the year 2000.
This is David, a boy who's so new to dating that he asks a girl out the same way a girl would ask a girl out. Yeah, where's the box where I would like to be David's restraining order? But the note blows away and David chases after it.
No! No, lady, don't!
I guess I could just ask her since she clearly already knows I wrote it, but I need the receipt for my taxes.
But he comes across Merlin's magical shop of gremlins reading the never-ending story as he looks at all the mysterious wonders. Like, look, a decapitated little girl's head. Na-na-na-na-na.
He literally bumps into Cage, who, as you would expect, is a little quirky.
I have something I'd like to show you, Dave.
How did you know my name was Dave?
Because I can read minds.
Okay, movie, Nicolas Cage is one of those people you do not need to overscore.
Yeah, he's already his own strange music. A magic ring clings to his hand, meaning he's the chosen one.
No way.
Because God knows why your actions should make you special, he's just chosen!
But an evil villain is released as well.
No way.
Is that all this twerp says?
No way. No way. No
kid really knows his vocabulary from A to A.
Not very sporting of you, Balthazar. Where's that doll?
Oh, apologies, I guess I could've just looked down.
Question 2. How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? The evil Horvath, played by Alfred Molina, manages to fight Cage back.
I'll have that doll.
Ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, I am Nicolas Cage, Sparrow.
Molina throws fire at him, only to find out fire doesn't hurt him. So why did he throw fire at him?
They both get sucked into the magic urn, and David leaves the store and, coincidentally, comes across his field trip.
Ew, he peed his pants! A jar broke! This is just water!
Oh my god, that kid's laugh is terrifying! She eating somebody's soul while laughing that hard?
Hey, you leave her alone. She's a good friend of mine. He lives with the unsuccessful prototype of Ned in Spider-Man Homecoming and comes across an old familiar face.
I'm sorry, is Becky? Becky Barnes.
Bucky Barnes?
Hang on, I've always wanted to do this. Longing, Rusted, 17, Dave... Hey.
We were in 4th grade together?
In a bizarre twist, this is actually the scary girl that was laughing at him all those years ago. He helps her fix the college radio station she works at, while Cage and Molina have a vase off.
Cheerio, Balthazar.
You'll take me to a lawyer to stop a Dresden Files lawsuit.
Molina finds David and tries to force him to give him the Russian doll known as the Grimhold.
I'll cut the truth out of you.
And at that very moment, the word NERP was created.
He finally figures out the sorcery of opening a door, and Molina sends wolves after him, though honestly there's about a billion ways he could have just kept him in that room, but it's cool, Cage turns them into puppies!
Puppies?
If he could turn the wolves into puppies, how come he couldn't turn Molina into a baby?
Because then he'd have to raise them with Holly Hunter, and the Coens already have enough repeating.
Cage flies in, though, on a pretty badass metal eagle.
Where's the doll, Dave?
That's exactly what I want Nicolas Cage riding a badass metal eagle to say.
They escape, and Dave tries to take in the situation.
I've been stuck in an urn for the last 10 years.
So have I. A figurative urn of ridicule.
That line of dialogue guest directed by Judd Apatow.
It shows. Hey, here's a fun game. Try to spot the moment where Nicolas Cage actually seems invested in what he's saying.
It is a prison for the most dangerous Morganians in history. Horvath wants to free his fellow Morganians and destroy the world. You have a very special gift.
Trick question! There are no moments when he's invested in this! It's so weird. He just looks and sounds so bored. The whole movie is stunningly devoid of Nicolas Cage freakouts or any energy to speak of. You know how he likes to alternate between screaming and soft muttering? Here it's just soft muttering for the whole movie. It's Nicolas Cage as a sorcerer! How is this dull?
Till we found the sorcerer who would inherit his power. Focuses your energy, helps you master new spells. You have to become the Prime Meridian. You're going to set me free.
So Molina gets the help of another magician called Drake Stone, an obvious David Blaine ripoff who apparently uses his real magic to entertain people.
Fun fact, this was actually the same actor who played Dr. Doom in Fantastic.
My master disappeared when I was 15, vanished. Left me with nothing but an incantus and some prescription-grade abandonment issues.
I'm still taking him more seriously here.
Me too.
Cage continues to train David when...
Hi, we should go.
Who's that?
The girl from earlier. The Winter Soldier?
Oh, right. That was this movie?
That was this movie.
I completely forgot.
Yeah, we all did. 25 minutes off screen, we're reintroduced to Bucky Barnes.
Just call her Winter Soldier. It's the only way I'll remember her.
Sounds good. And we're supposed to just pick up where their non-existent chemistry left off.
I think you'd better step into my cage.
It might be a little crowded inside him, but there's always room for one more voice in his head.
He shows how the electric coils, when positioned right, can actually make musical sounds.
The coils are firing at such a high frequency that the sparks literally create sound waves as they fly through the air, which is nerdy. Oh, I'm sappy.
You know, he really is the poor man's Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Heathcliff.
Ooh, very good.
The next day, when he's going to the bathroom, he's accosted by Russell Offbrand.
Prime Merlinian, eh? You don't look like much.
Oh, I'm sorry, miss. This is the men's room. But Cage comes to save him from both Melina and Borat Zoolander. To be fair, he does use probably the film's best sound effect. Oh. Why does that insanity work and none of the other madness does?
Don't worry, it's followed by a stupid line.
What are you doing here, Dave?
Working on my master's thesis. What do you think I'm doing in the bathroom?
Well, that exposition in the opening was so much fun. Let's literally have it told to us again. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Everything that was said to us in the intro is repeated back to us pretty much for no reason. Watch.
Morgana. She was making preparations for something that would enable her to enslave mankind. Merlin had 3 apprentices. I was one of them.
You told me this. I heard all of this.
Who would inherit his power.
In all fairness, did you even listen in the beginning?
No, because I'm sick of listening in general. I'm tired of people and movies taking advantage of me.
Take a look at this fascinatingly botched Star Wars homage.
You don't need to see my faculty identification card.
I don't need your faculty identification card.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
The lesson, kids, is if you can't be bothered to think of something original, just steal something and admit you're stealing it. That's the same thing as actual creativity, kinda.
After we see the dog presumably piss on a Fantasia DVD, Dave realizes he has to get the place clean for his girlfriend.
This is the plot now. And as you'd imagine, a mere 62 minutes into this Sorcerer's Apprentice remake, they finally remake The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Poorly.
Sucktastic is how I would put it.
In Fantasia, the brooms went out of control because Mickey was off daydreaming. And not just any daydream, he was dreaming about being a god, controlling the cosmos, altering the fabric of reality to suit his every whim. Kinda like the real Mickey Mouse, come to think of it. What is Dave off doing while this flubber dance is going on? Showering and brushing his tongue. Whimsical.
Yeah, it's a little ironic that Mickey used magic to be lazy with his chores while Dave is using chores to be lazy with his magic.
Command you to stop!
Wow, that line read was so bad it stopped the whole movie. Even that spray bottle is like, I'm Windex and I could have read that line better.
Oh look, the shadow of him with the axe. They're so similar I can barely tell the difference.
Even that isn't done right. In the original, it was intense, like a freaking horror film. He just wails on that thing until there's nothing left. Here it's just slow, random, and dull.
So the Mickey Mouse cartoon is actually more intense than the Nicolas Cage movie?
What is world?
Cage comes to save the day, making us realize if you cut the Sorcerer's Apprentice scene out of the Sorcerer's Apprentice, absolutely nothing would be lost from the story. But look, he has something pointy on his head. Authentic!
This whole scene is like when a little kid retells a joke he heard without understanding what made it funny!
This must not happen.
Dave sends the Winter Soldier away, but for some reason she is in no way bothered by this.
Do you really think that one botched date was gonna make me hate you forever?
You can just replace all her dialogue with support, support, support.
Originally, this was her stand-in.
Are you afraid of heights?
A little bit.
Trust me. Yoink, yoink.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I didn't know I could piss myself 8 times simultaneously.
Do you remember when you drew King Kong in the bus window? And he lined up with the Empire State Building? You saw the world in your own way.
I am trying to find some reason to be attracted to you.
But Melina ambushes Cage and takes the doll from him.
It's lighter than I remember.
So's the source material.
But Dave returns and they chase down the villains to get the doll back.
What the heck is this?
Is he turning into a Mars Attacks Martian?
The villains escape and realize they need reinforcements to win, so they bring another friend to life to kidnap Dave's girlfriend.
I said I'd like to make a request.
Okay, this might work.
Yeah, new character, looks kind of creepy and badass. Let's see what they do with her.
I need your power to free Morgana. I just don't need you.
What the hell? We didn't even see how she kidnapped the girlfriend, or use any magic, or fought anybody off.
Dave tries to get the doll back while Melina watches on.
Come on, Dave. You know the drill. Give me what I want and I'll let her go.
You've seen this done in a million movies. We're not very original, so this will be 1,000,001. Silence.
You give me Merlin's ring and the Grimhold.
Throw me the idol, I throw you the whip.
He, of course, hands it over, and Cage realizes he has to take this on by himself.
No one knows how much time they have. To be with the people that are the most important, enjoy it.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Bad time, Dave.
Oh, wow, this film is just full of people I forgot were even in it.
I'm still waiting for them to cut back to the disgruntled army general, the Olympic gymnast fighting for the girl's affection, and the CGI giraffe voiced by Larry David.
None of those were in this movie.
But for a moment, you thought they might be.
This is really dangerous.
I want to come with you.
You're sexy.
Huh? Bad enough he has a voice as fragile as a Fabergé egg, but couldn't you give him a slightly cool line?
You're sexy.
Move over, Tobey Maguire. We have a new I hunch.
So Morgana is released while still in Veronica's body as she tries to raise all the dead sorcerers to destroy the world.
I cannot raise the dead until the circle is complete.
Man, that is a goal-centered woman. No, how long have I been out, or what happened over the centuries, or has Disney bought everything by this point? But Cage tries to stop them, and they have, well, there's only one way to put it, a wizard's duel.
No disappearing. No.
Where the hell is that little girl statue? I got a score to settle! You know, could we get more New York statues in on this? I want to see Vladimir Lenin, Eleanor Roosevelt, and Balto fight to the death. Then we'll get the Statue of Liberty to rampage through the city to the tune of Higher and Higher. Cage gets Morgana out, and for no given reason, Dave can fight her without his ring, because something ruby slippers.
I put a spell on you, and now you're gone!
But I'm not alone. I brought a little science with me.
Yep, the science of a mop that can move of its own power. Science rules!
Well, I guess you could say the mob cleaned up this mess.
So Morgana is destroyed, and oh no, it looks like Cage is too.
No, it's not over. He can't die. Not now.
Gee, I can't believe they killed off the main character in a Disney film.
Yeah, just like Snow White and Pinocchio and Trusty and Aurora and Darby O'Gill and Baloo and Robin Hood and Chief and Gurgi and Basil and the Beast and Iago and Esmeralda and Megara and Giselle and Wally and Flynn and Iron Man and Ralph and Anna and Baymax.
Well, I for one am shocked.
That's not good enough. You, with all your stupid rules and all those old man shoes, you're constantly saving me with that look in your eyes.
You will believe you're watching a movie.
Of course, Cage comes back, and Dave is reunited with his totally useless girlfriend, and they fly the Eagle to Isengard to rescue Gandalf.
And that was Nicolas Cage in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. How is this not fun?
One of the biggest creative risks of Walt Disney's career has been turned into one of the least creatively risky movies I've ever seen. The tired-ass Chosen One story is beyond hackneyed, and it's not even done well. There's no build to it. He goes from incompetent to all-powerful at the end like an on-off switch.
Sometimes there's kind of neat effects or kind of cool acting from Alfred Molina, but that's as far as it gets. Just kind of cool.
You know how most Disney Bruckheimer movies are these insanely long 2.5-hour monstrosities? This feels like it was shot to be one of those, but then cut down to 1:45. So it still has the bloated structure of a long-ass movie, which makes it feel longer than it is. Not even Nicolas Cage as a friggin' sorcerer can make it interesting.
It sucks seeing Cage go from awesomely good to awesomely bad to just bad. And I can tell you, with him averaging 6 movies a year now, I am not falling for the Nicolas Cage hype train again.